Well, welcome. I'm excited to have award-winning author Julie Klassen. Hello, it's so good to see you.
Thank you, Raina. It's always a pleasure to see you again. So thanks for doing this.
I have to tell you, after maybe the first 2 books I read of yours years ago, I always thought, man, I wish I could ask her questions. I've got so many questions, and by the grace of God, I've gotten to ask you questions, and I have more questions.
That's great.
So,
I'm glad you haven't run out yet.
Thank you for being willing to answer my goofy questions.
I'll do my best.
All right, Julie, so you are kind of wrapped up, not really, but book 3 of your On Devonshire Shore series. We got to meet Claire Summers. I really like Claire. I really, really, really loved her story. So can you give us a little synopsis of this?
Yes, I have been looking forward to writing this book because we've been hearing about Claire. She's been kind of present, or at least talked about from the beginning. She's a sister that was missing. She left the family in disgrace. There's been some mystery kind of shrouding her. And in this one, we get to see Claire, where she's been living, and she gets to kind of finally come back, and it's about her struggle to kind of find forgiveness for herself and from her family, and kind of rejoin her family and find love. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. I like a redemptive story, and this one was good to write.
Yes, I don't know, there is something about seeing somebody who maybe made a poor choice, as most of us do, and just seeing that growth and or perseverance, I guess, maybe, and coming out on the other side.
Yeah.
So
and thankfully, we do get second chances in this life, and I'm glad for that. But don't worry, I know you said sort of wrapped up. I don't know if you're going to ask me this later.
I am going to get to, because we have 2 other sisters that I'm like, okay, when is Sarah going to get her shot here? So, and let me back up, and this series is about the Summer sisters, and so we've gotten some closure on 2 of the sisters, and now the 3rd sister, and we have 2 more. So tell me how you are going to conclude their stories.
So the book that comes out on September 2nd is called A Seaview Christmas, and it wraps up the long-awaited Sarah's story and romance. She's the one sister who's been holding the whole family together, the dependable, work-hard sister who's kind of always put her own happiness on the back burner. But that will be, I guess we're going to just go ahead and spoil it, but she is going to have a wonderful Christmas. It's going to be have romance and a happy ending for her. Plus, that's the main romance, but the youngest sister, Georgiana, she hasn't even thought about men or romance or anything, but in this one she also has just a little bit of that awakening of the possibility of first love in the Christmas one as well. So I think it will be satisfying. I hope you will be satisfied.
I'm sure I will.
Once you read it.
I'm sure I will. All right, and then you had this book here get re-released. Why was that?
So this is Lady Maybe, and this book came out 10 years ago with a New York publisher, a secular publisher, and it was kind of an experiment to try to reach more readers, and it honestly didn't work, and it became very clear that was not my world. So that book has been kind of languishing. We tried to get the rights back, but long story short, we got the rights back finally, and I was so thankful when my tried and true publisher, Bethany House, was interested in being the one to reissue it. So it's got a brand new cover. I was given the opportunity to make a lot of changes and improvements, not only toning down a few things that were places where maybe they were a little bit more sensual than they needed to be, but also as a historical writer, I have learned a lot in 10 years, Rita, so it was great to be able to go back and fix some of the things that were not quite as accurate historically as I would like. Hopefully I've become a better writer, so I was able to make many improvements to the writing. So I'm very glad. We talked about a redemptive story. To me, this is a redemptive opportunity to put out this book in a second chance kind of way, and people seem to be really enjoying it, so I'm very grateful.
Well, I enjoyed it the original way too. So, but no, and then every December you have a new release,
Yes.
and so this is a standalone?
Right. So the next book, and I just finished doing the final galley, so I won't see that book again until it's printed. It's called Whispers at Painswick Court, and it's a standalone mystery romance. So it's a little bit more of a whodunit of a young woman who's kind of asked to kind of be the sick room nurse for this older woman in this manor house. And there are a couple of men that she's known in her past living there, and some underhanded dealings going on, and she gets kind of caught up in this and has to kind of figure out who to trust and who may be responsible for the death of one of the characters. So I do love a mystery. So this was a challenge to write, but I think we got there, and it also has that romance that readers and I love as well.
All right. And so for your research, you often travel to England and get to see it. So I have two questions.
Okay.
So do you have an idea in mind before you go there and know what you want to see, or do you go there and that sparks something, I guess, or both?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. It's happened both ways. I have certainly gone before, and maybe I'm seeing something for book A, but then I stumble across a village or something or a church or an old building for whatever reason captures my imagination. So I'm like, ooh, I want to set a book there. So I often get ideas for new stories when I travel. I was just able to go to England this spring, and in that case I had a specific, the next book I'm working on, I have planning to set it in this particular place that I have never been. And ideally, I like to write about places that I have seen with my own eyes. That isn't always possible. So in that case, I went specifically to see one place. But thankfully, we visited a few other places, and I also found another place that I would like to set a future book in. So it's a win-win.
So what made you want to set the book that you had never been there?
Well, I have been to that region of England. I'm really drawn to the coasts. I love Devon, obviously, and Cornwall. Something about those rugged, rocky coasts and the crashing waves that just really draws me. And so I had seen some videos and things of this particular place, and it has a waterfall and kind of a hidden pool, and remote but yet beautiful, and it was just kind of beginning of that resort era between the Regency and Victorian era. I don't know, I just thought it was really intriguing, and I was able to find some old books about the area with old pictures and things, and I love that when I can get some accounts from people who live there or have lived there, and I thought, ooh, that would be a good place. So when I went there, I did find it was beautiful, so I think that's where the story will be.
All right. And then my second question about travel is, you actually take a group and travel to England.
Yes, I have been so blessed to be able to do that. I did 2 before COVID, and then nobody was traveling. And so we've just planned another trip, a third, which is all planned for June of 2026. And we only launched it maybe not even a month ago, and it sold out like the next day or something. It was really crazy fast. But if it all works out, we may do another one. So if people are interested, they sign up for my email list, and then they will find out about any future trips down the line.
Okay. And now a question about your process.
Okay.
I've got 2 questions about your process. What is your strategy or technique to try and get the reader into the story on the first few pages?
Well, if we could bottle that, if I had here's the magic solution, I would do that, because it is a struggle, I think, to give the reader enough, like, who is this character? Why, you could start with an explosion or something, but if you don't know why do we care and who got hurt and why should this interest me? It is hard. So I think I struggle with that every time to try to figure out where is the right place to start. I might have an idea of the character and the kind of the journey, either physically or otherwise, that I want to send her on, but where to start that and how to get that person in. So usually I don't know, just to simplify it, it's showing a character and they're in a place where they don't want to be, either physically or emotionally or relationally, and then you kind of know the desire of their heart, and then you're pulling for them, and you want to see them either get that or grow and change in some other way that will fill that longing in their heart. So I don't think that's a very good answer, but it's the best I can do. And if somebody else you interview has the answer,
I'll let you know.
Come and let me know.
Okay, and then my next question is, how do you know when you're done with? And I don't want to hear because of a deadline, but I mean, because even in video world, you could keep editing and editing and editing till you're dead, But how do you know when your story is?
That is a really good question, Raina. Well, I mean, for me, nobody reads my first draft, so I have to get it to a place where I feel it works. So after a really rough draft, I go through it again and make the rough changes, then I print it out and read it. And for me, there's something about when I get to the point where, let me back up. I love a cyclical thing. I love when you see something at the beginning that the character can't do, or something that they've always wanted but they've never had, and then we kind of circle around into a similar situation where that character now can either face that hardship or realize that dream that she's always wanted. And so we get to see that kind of that bookend. And that when I feel like I've gotten that good balance of where she started, her journey, and that satisfying bookend, then I feel like I've finished.
Okay.
Of course, lots of editing after that.
And then how do you determine whether it's like an inner struggle or the conflict, or what the character is going to go through? How do you determine that?
Well, I mean, that's the whole challenge. Every time you write a new story, you're trying to come up with something, that's hopefully relatable to enough people, but also something maybe a little bit about, or at least are intrigued enough to learn about. But also that you haven't done in every other, in my case, every other book I've written. So yeah, it's usually something that I'm interested in, or that I've known somebody who's had this struggle, and I want to fictionalize it in a way that will be, real life doesn't always give us those circular, beautiful bookends, but I think that part of human nature, we want to create kind of that paradise or that perfect world that doesn't really exist here on Earth, but. So every time it's different. I don't think I have an exact way.
Okay. All right. You have a website that people can go to. You on social media?
I'm way too much on social media. On Facebook and on Instagram are my only two. I don't do any of the other ones, but those I like a lot. So
yeah. And so you have a inspirational Regency Readers Facebook group.
Right, you can search for that, Inspirational Regency Readers, and that's other people who love all the things that I love and the other authors who host it love. Jane Austen, Pride and Prejudice, traveling to England, all those things and books. So that's a place where I'm pretty much there every day at some point.
Okay. And now I'm asking everybody this question, why Christianity, or why Jesus? Why do you choose to believe in that?
Yeah. Well, I didn't start out there. I think my parents did raise me to believe in God, but I believed in kind of this distant God who was busy doing important things. I didn't really have the sense of a personal God who knew me and cared about my little problems. And then, like a lot of people, when I went off to college, I kind of chucked all whatever my parents tried to teach me, and I don't need all that. I don't need God or religion. And pretty soon I realized, boy, I'm just empty. I'm trying to fill it with all the dumb stuff college kids try to fill it with. It's not working. I realized that I needed Him, and I also realized my need of a Savior. And I didn't really ever grow up reading the Bible, but someone shared some verses with me about how He knows the very hairs, how many hairs you have on your head. He knows, so much about you, and He cares about you more than a sparrow. And just these simple verses that I had never heard, that the time was right, and they spoke to my heart, and I realized that He did love me enough to send His Son to save me. So I'm a born again Christian. Didn't start out that way, but I needed rescuing, and He rescued me. So I have certainly not been perfect since then. I still struggle. Life is still hard. Things are hard, and it's not perfect, but I would not want to go through this life without Jesus. Yeah. So thanks for asking. That's not a question I often get asked. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And thank you for talking to me again. It's I gotta pinch myself that
I'll do it for you.
Thank you. I just appreciate you and just your gift and your talent and yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Anytime, Raina.
All right, I'm going to take you up on that. She's like questioning herself now, but no, thank you, Julie.